Money in the Bank this weekend saw the crowning of a brand new champion. And no, we're not talking about the women's tag titles. We're talking about the brand new WWB Divas Champion. Stay tuned to find out which one of us gets crowned with that honor here on Wrestling with the Business.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Wrestling with the Business. Lucky episode 13, I think, right? Episode 13 now.
Indeed.
Coming to you from Saratoga Springs, New York. We are crowning a new champion. That is the result of our Money in the Bank prediction contest. That's the highlight. We got 1,000 different news and rumors topics we're going to be talking about. Natalia is in the news, not just because she got squashed by Rhea Ripley. We're going to talk about ratings, how were ratings last week, what's going on with LA Knight, are we going to see a SummerSlam comeback, potentially a big premium live event like WrestleMania in London, I don't know, maybe not. But let's get started like we normally do. As always, with our quick recaps, I'll start with SmackDown. We were in the O2 Arena for London in preparation for Money in the Bank, which was the next night. A lot of championships on the line, a lot of work getting done. Undisputed Tag Team Championship match, ZKO versus Pretty Deadly. That was the curtain jerk.
Wow.
ZKO holds the titles. Segment 2, a championship contenders match, which I'm still kind of getting to the bottom of. So some kind of unofficial tournament to see who's going to go for the big championship.
If you beat the champion, then you get a championship shot.
Basically, Money in the Bank diet Money in the Bank.
Something like that.
Anyways, Austin Theory versus Rich Holland. Theory goes over, no shocker there. Bayley versus Shotzi for Bayley's Money in the Bank spot. If you watch Money in the Bank, you know what happened. Bayley retained her spot. Very interesting though, the crowd was really into it. They had a "Hey Bayley" chant going.
Yeah, London loves Bayley. They've been doing that for years.
They like her a lot.
Where is she from?
She's U.S.
I used to know that. I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, she's from.
I'm thinking
I want to say
she had like a British accent a little bit.
no. I want to say like Boston or Philly or something like that.
She's San Jose.
San Jose.
She's built from
Not
San
even
Jose.
close. Other coast.
She's my age, actually. Titch younger. Let's see. And then WWE Women's Championship match, Asuka versus Charlotte. Very weird. This could have easily been on the pay-per-view the next night in the same venue. Not sure why they kept it to only, what do they have, 7 matches? Not sure why they kept Money in the Bank to 7 matches and didn't put this here, but probably because of the ending, because it ended due to interference. Bianca Belair comes in, obviously keying up a fatal 3-way match at SummerSlam in Detroit in a month. Very interesting. Belair hits a kiss of death on Asuka on the announcer table, and then a kiss of death on Flair on top of Asuka on the announcer table. So really making Belair look strong on this one. I mean,
Has she turned yet?
there's the last couple of weeks there have been some serious hands. I mean, I don't know how you turn like that when you don't have a tag team partner or something like that, but she's becoming more irate and
More heelish.
Heelish in general. And then segment 7, which was the main event, which was literally not an event at all. That's how big the Bloodline storyline is getting right now. Roman Reigns demands acknowledgement and an apology, and he'll forgive the Usos. Usos comes out, and of course there's a huge, I'm calling it the super kick heard around the world. And then security working hard to break up everyone, and a melee ensues, and huge setup for Money in the Bank, obviously, the next night. So, all in all, it was a good show. I mean, they were clearly rocking. I mean, I would put this 3.5. There was lots of vignettes, but the titles were on the line. People were wrestling. Stuff was happening. The crowd was really into it because they were over in O2, and they don't get wrestling that often. So. Overall, it was a really good match. Welcome to the show,
Hi.
Adam.
How we doing?
Good. Perfect timing because we're ready to move to Raw.
It sucked.
And moving on.
AEW.
No.
Can you? Here's the big thing. Can you share the update without spoiling Money in the Bank?
Without spoiling.
Because we haven't done Money in the Bank.
And we haven't disclosed who our new champion is.
And we
yet.
don't-
I can. I'm leaving out the main event.
That's true. You do have to leave out the main event. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Actually, now I'm looking at my notes.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Raw sucked. There you
Raw
go.
sucked.
It was not particularly.
It was 52 minutes of poor in-ring action.
All right.
In a 3-hour show. No, notes I put, obviously we see the return of Brock Lesnar right off the beginning of the show because we need more of that. We need to beat that dead horse yet again with him and Cody Rhodes.
Got to have the rubber match.
Well, hang on. Frame it up because he comes out. Cody comes out. Looking like he's going to challenge
Rollins. And, and that was my first, I'm so sick of Rollins on the mic. I just see I hear his music, I get annoyed now.
Yeah.
And then you get to listen to it for 10 more minutes.
Yes. So, Cody coming out, then Brock coming out. I like that they actually, instead of Brock just destroying him,
Yeah.
Cody got, kind of got the upper hand on that. That was nice to see. Other than that, again, without giving away Money in the Bank, why are we trying with Natalia?
Hang on. Okay, you can give this away. You can give
Yeah.
this part away for Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well-
You can do the main event.
Main event. All right, so the main
Because
event.
it was probably one of the worst matches, so it was whatever.
It was only 10 minutes long.
Yeah, it wasn't a good match.
Natalia and Ripley was longer than.
That was a good match.
It was a good match, but we've buried Natalia so much over the last few weeks. Why are we even trying?
That's exactly what I said. To him.
Why are we even trying? I mean, it was great. We all know how talented Natalia is.
Rhea hasn't been in action since.
Yeah,
The last pay-per-view?
Yeah, it's been a month.
And again, we know how talented Rhea is, so obviously these two together should be huge. But after burying Natalia for week after week after week, and then to have her lose again, even in a good match, why are we even wasting our time? Again, Trish, Stark, and Lynch, that was boring.
Rhea hasn't worked a real match since WrestleMania, since she won the title from Charlotte Flair.
She's had a couple squash matches.
The
That's what I'm saying. She's squashed.
The Zelina Vega match was a little back and forth.
I guess you're right. The Vega match was
in
decent.
Puerto Rico.
But that's the only one.
Show started off good with Priest and Nakamura. That was a entertaining match. Baszler and Rousey. I like keeping Rousey off the mic because that is not her strong point.
Baszler's decent, though.
Yeah, and having Baszler cut her off. And
if this leads to Baszler being the badass heel she was in NXT, that's a huge step up for her. That was a great character.
yeah, but she got more of a
great time.
face reaction.
Really?
Watching it, she seemed like I don't think too many people are really.
I think they hate Rousey.
On the Rousey.
Yeah,
well, we've also known now that it's coming out in the media that Ronda is looking to end her contract and go back to UFC with Amanda Nunes.
But she wants
retiring.
she wants to do a program with Baszler first, though.
Yeah, so we're probably going to see her last match at SummerSlam for at least a good long while. And yeah, with the big rumors with the unexpected retirement of Amanda Nunes.
What is she looking to accomplish there? One final match?
Well, it's
money.
money, and her last two matches, she got her asses kicked.
Yeah,
literally.
Nunez punched her nose in.
And Holly Holm before that kicked her face in. So
I guess they're all the same company now, so she's really not leaving.
Right, but
in a way,
I mean,
if you want to be technical.
But I liked it, and what a knee! I was
that was aggressive.
I was like,
and she sold it really well.
Yeah, like I said, that's what you kind of got to do with Ronda. Right? Keep her off the mic and just let her in-ring stuff do the talking for her. So, but yeah, main event set up Rollins and Dom. We are seeing what I predicted to be the implosion of Judgment
Day.
Which is why I know we haven't talked about Money in the Bank yet. I was back and forth between my picks for that match, and I should have gone with my gut, but I didn't. I went with what I thought Vince McMahon was trying to do.
Vince, yeah.
So
kind of Bloodline-esque.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, but I'm more interested in this than the Bloodline.
Well, no,
Yeah.
no.
Bloodline's a little stale. This is
Yeah.
starting to pick things up.
But it's
Yeah.
kind of the same, and maybe it's a tale as old as time or whatever, but it's kind of like, oh, you know, you got in my way, interference, drama.
Right.
Not a lot of emotion associated with it, not a lot of, there was that good sequence where Dom's in between them. Hey, guys, he's getting away. He's getting away, guys. He's getting away. Here's Rollins slinking off into the night.
Now without taking out Dom one more time.
Of course, yeah. Dom finally just like runs around on himself and then takes a bump. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, thank God you just got to face Cody and Rollins in the same weekend. Like,
They're pushing him.
Crowd
They're
hates
pushing they're pushing the kid.
nuclear heat.
Good for him.
He opens his mouth, they don't let him talk.
Nope.
So something's working.
So yeah, that was Raw from Baltimore. 3 hours show, 52 minutes, 53 seconds of in-ring action, and not that great of action, to be honest with you. The crowd seemed dead too. Like watching just watching the audience, no one was really in their seat, other than when during the Judgment Day match, they were getting some heat, so you saw some more fan interaction, but no Kevin Owens, no Sami Zayn,
Yeah.
no one from the Bloodline. So, all right,
All right.
So,
Dynamite.
AEW.
is Sting recovering?
Sting was not on the show,
All right,
so I assume so.
Broke his hip.
There wasn't a whole lot in this episode. What's really surprising about this episode is there were a lot of video packages, a lot more story in this episode. A lot of the matches, I'll say probably half of the matches, probably really inconsequential. The best part of this show is the brand new tag team of MJF and Adam Cole. There was a video package of them working out at the gym, and their back and forth is entertaining. It's funny. They're telling the story that Adam Cole is the babyface, but the devil MJF is kind of pulling him more towards heel tendencies. MJF is pushing their tag team move to be a double clothesline. They had a match that night, and he kept saying, "Do the double clothesline, do it, do it." They didn't do it, but when they do, the crowd is going to go nuts for it. But that's just that's the best thing on AEW right now, and I'm definitely looking forward. I'm looking more forward to them having the tag titles than them wrestling each other for the world title. It's really entertaining stuff. Overall, decent show. Probably 2.5, 3 out of 5. But yeah, that MJF Adam Cole stuff is gold right now.
It's very funny. There's a tension. If you haven't gone online and watched it, you should check the clip. It's just a few minutes long, but it's very funny. There's like a birthday party, and
Yep. After the match, it was Adam Cole's birthday. So
for
they
Adam
did
Cole's birthday, and there's this weird tension where you're kind of like, what's gonna happen? When's he gonna double cross him? When's he gonna do something? When's he gonna do this or when's he gonna do that? And then it ends up. It's very, and primarily because of the work that they did a year and a half ago with CM Punk.
Yep.
He did that double cross on CM Punk, and so now nobody trusts the devil to do
Exactly.
what he says he's going to do. So it's just a testament to good long-term investment in storyline.
Yeah,
Paying
if they
off.
start pushing more story. I mean, there were some people online saying this episode was much more WWE than AEW, but if it means more story for everyone, then I think that's only a good thing.
Well, I think it's good to do something different.
Absolutely.
Try
I mean,
it
when
all
you
day.
get this much screen time now, you can't wrestle the whole time.
Right.
So people are starting to like the flow of Collision a little bit. Is that what you're saying? People, the flow.
Oh,
of
this
it.
was Dynamite.
But still, Collision too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're different. They're the whole different. Both shows I think are doing a completely different.
Yeah, there is still a different. You can still tell a difference between
Right.
Collision and Dynamite, definitely.
Right.
And to go along with Collision, some wrestlers are requesting to only be on that show. The Malachi Black and the House of Black, they only want to be on Saturday nights.
I think it's smart to do them differently.
Right now, FTR are the only ones on Saturday nights, so they got the tag titles and the trios titles all on the same show.
Don't forget CM Punk.
And CM Punk, of course. Take a shot. The ratings, on the other hand, aren't looking so good for Collision. But
Well, then that leads us into news and rumors.
that's called a segue, folks.
Yeah. Leads us into news and rumors.
So
I
Collision did.
rode one of those before.
So Collision did 452,000. So I mean, I don't know. Where does that stand on your?
It's terrible. Half of the first episode.
Yeah.
820. They're at 820 out of the gate.
So down a little bit.
A little bit.
Down
Quite a bit.
45%.
So I mean, do you think that's expected for them to go down, or do you think eventually?
I mean, I think they're in line with Rampage right now. Well,
Right.
Rampage
Right.
is still a little less, but
Well, I think that's how any new show is going to be.
Right.
I mean, look at SmackDown when it first debuted on Fox. Like,
I mean,
it was
they're-
huge when
they're-
it first came out.
They're with Rampage.
is Rampage up that high? I
Four-
thought they were still
I think
a
they're
little
right
lower.
at the same.
450.
Rampage is the only ratings I don't have on here, but I think I read
Four fifty.
they're like right about the same. They're doing the same numbers.
Okay.
So I mean,
Rampage against SmackDown. Same time slot.
After SmackDown.
Oh, right. Rampage
yeah,
is
they were 1 hour later.
Yeah, you're right.
Now it's Collision 1 hour or two.
Two.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I mean,
And Rampage is 1.
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
And Rampage is like pre-taped, right? It's not live.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
they
they tape it
they
with-
tape it right after Dynamite.
Do we know what the ticket sales for this past Collision was?
That
Yes,
I
we
do
do.
not have.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
I actually had. Where is it? So I have the ticket sales for this upcoming Collision tomorrow in Saskatchewan. The current setup is for 2,683. That's it. A sellout is 2,600 tickets, and they've only sold 1,500.
Wow. So
And it wasn't as bad. It wasn't as bad,
And
but it was bad.
correct me if I'm wrong, though, but the last few weeks, Dynamite was in the same city before Collision. Like they do it the night after or something like that. I'm
They're-
pretty sure Dynamite this week was in Hamilton, and then Collision was also the next day.
They're keeping their stuff tightly packed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might be going to like right up the road or something. It's
Either
not
way, they're doing a pretty good job making the arenas look full.
Oh yeah,
I was looking. I was watching
surprised.
the Collision. I think not.
watch Saturday.
movie magic.
If you can make 1,500 tickets look like 8,000, that producer deserves a raise.
I mean,
Okay.
it's looked full when I've looked. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it looks like they're. I mean, I don't know if they're pulling off. random
Collision's
people.
doing okay. Collision's doing okay. It's 8,000 seats and you're selling 5,000, 6,000 tickets.
You figure the other half of the arena probably not at all sold.
Exactly.
You
A third
can't
of it's
see it.
blocked off from the screen.
Right.
They got the upper decks all blocked off.
Right.
So it looks okay. You know, you fill up screen side, camera side's empty. I haven't looked up the show that we're going to yet recently. But yeah, I mean, the product's decent. Everybody likes the product. The ratings are slipping. The ticket sales are 1 or 2 weeks ahead of the ratings. I mean, it's just terrible.
Yeah, it's great.
1,500 tickets.
Again, it's like we said since the beginning of this. Yeah, you were going to have the big blow up because it was something brand new. You had the Chicago CM Punk thing. And now it's, we're just past 4th of July weekend and no one wants to watch wrestling at 8 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday.
see what the tickets look like
Yeah.
when they're back in America.
And some perspective, NXT was over 500.
So we're getting into the summer blues. I think
Yeah.
that affects all of them. And all the rest of the shows. So we got Raw, 1.89 million, down 7% overall. SmackDown did 2.5, a little bit over 2.5. AEW, I have 810. Is that the current one?
That was last week.
Is that last week?
Yeah.
This week-
I know we're like the day after it. Sometimes it doesn't
You
come
know
out till like
what?
an hour before we go
I'm
live.
going to look right now because I look.
Yeah, it didn't come out yet.
Yeah, the one article I was reading looked like it was last week's, but it was saying 810. So I don't know if it's close to the same or not. Collision was 452,000 and NXT 506. So I mean, Raw down just slightly. SmackDown kind of seems. So I mean, maybe not the summer blues yet, but I think we're gonna get into that pretty soon.
NXT's doing well. They're
Yeah.
holding
I mean,
strong.
they're really not
500,
bad.
600.
Which is surprising.
They're
they've-
Tuesday nights.
They've got a core base. They're not going up against anybody. They always seem to take a hit anytime a postseason comes, whether it be baseball, basketball.
I'm just thinking about it. So right now, if you're a wrestling fan in general, you're watching Monday night, you're watching Tuesday night, you're watching Wednesday night.
Mhm.
Nothing Thursday. So Thursday night's your night to go out and have dinner.
Thursday night's
Right.
Impact.
You can watch Impact if you
Well,
want.
I mean, come on. Now it's just now whatever. So now you got to throw an Impact.
It's
you gotta
$1 a month to watch Impact.
So okay, so Sunday
you
night.
should.
It's on access.
Sunday
for
night with the
free.
family.
yeah.
If you don't have any type of pay-per-views or anything, I mean,
And a lot of pay-per-views.
It's crazy.
You know, I noticed this. So SummerSlam is August 5th.
Mhm.
That's a Saturday.
Yeah, WWE's been switched to Saturday now.
Why?
I think it's a better move.
Yeah. AEW
I mean-
started
Yeah.
on Saturdays,
especially
and then they moved to Sunday.
because you're still kind of going with the younger demographic fan. Pay-per-view Saturday night compared to Sunday night, especially when you get into school year.
So you think it's indicative of
Yeah.
the younger audience?
Yeah.
Because they've had a younger audience for a long time.
I mean, I don't know about you guys. I grew up watching pay-per-view Sunday night, and I love Sunday night. But now I think at the end of the day, it does make more sense for Saturday. I think and when I was high school, watching all the old pay-per-views till 11:30 at night on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Like it was like, or even in middle school, like that was that. The Sunday night was the night, right? You had to get your little cable box and pop it in and order the thing, and that was the night. But now I think at the end of the day, I think Saturday makes sense. I think they're following that model of UFC does the late night fights. Boxing does the late night Saturday. I think they're trying to make their premier event Saturday nights as well.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not gonna lie. These last couple WWE pay-per-views, I like the 1 o'clock showtime.
Right?
The one, yeah.
I think that's awesome, especially with streaming now, because you can go after it's done. You can go back watch it literally whenever the hell you want. I like this afternoon runtime.
Right.
I mean, obviously they're not going to do it now that they're back in the States, but for their next.
When did Money in the Bank kick off? 4? 3
3.
o'clock?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock? Yeah. I mean,
that's
what's wrong with that?
Awesome.
I mean,
Watch a 3-hour show at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. By the time it's done, you still got an evening to do something.
but no, you got Collision.
Oh.
gonna-
If you're one of those fans,
I'm gonna say it again, guys. I think you're right, but you're not hitting on the primary reason for it. The primary reason for it is because they want to appeal to an international audience,
Yeah.
and they know that if you are in Australia and Asia, you're a day ahead, and if you're in Europe, you're a full day ahead, and if you're in Europe, you're 5, 6, 7, 8 hours ahead. So that means that, hey, in India, guess what? It's going to be Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So it appeals more to the international audience, which we've talked about before. 70% of their YouTube traffic comes internationally. They're moving more international. We'll get into it in a segment afterwards.
There are people
but
who sit at a desk and they make these decisions.
yeah.
And this is why we're going to do it. And this is
it
why
isn't
we're
even,
doing it.
it doesn't,
It's like,
honestly, that doesn't have anything to do with it. It has to do with 330 million people in the United States, 6.5 billion people in the rest of the world. And it has to do with market share.
there's an international demand for it. So,
Huge international demand.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do some of the rumors. So John Cena obviously returned Money in the Bank. One deal, one shot. No creative plans for that. That was just a pop.
Did he look terrible to you guys?
He looked very like.
He looks small.
I couldn't tell if he
like-
was tiny, small, or
looks-
tired.
he looks
Like, I
small.
couldn't tell.
Yeah,
He
but,
looked
like,
very.
He looked sick.
looked-
I'm not saying that he was or suggest, but he
I thought he looked tired.
Yeah, he didn't
that's
look
the
right.
same thing. I think he just looked. I mean, if I had to guess, he
I
flew
mean,
out
he's
there last
probably
minute.
busy. Yeah, he's probably busy as heck.
Yeah.
I mean, he might not feel well, jet lag or whatever. Lord only knows where he's been. I mean,
I
he's
bet it was
busy.
a last minute thing. They flew
Yeah.
him out there. I'm sure he
as a
landed
favorite
and
event
got right into did the show and got right out and flew. I bet
Signed.
you it's like
signed his 1,000 autographs first.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre also returned.
Big return.
Big return
Yep.
at the event as well. Looks like they got some creative plans in store from him. No status change on his contract. There's still a lot of time left, so no sides talked
They
yet
added
about
some
it.
time because of his
Yeah.
injuries.
Yeah, so
Him and Gunther though.
they're not.
For
Yeah,
SummerSlam, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
gonna be
that's
a
gonna be a good
good one.
they're not advertising his contract as an immediate concern, but he is back. Jim Ross also has a contract coming up pretty soon, and I don't know if you guys can tell, and it doesn't seem like he's all that.
Rumors are that he's
It doesn't seem like it's going like he's going to be staying, so I don't know. But I mean, really, was Jim Ross real? I mean, look, hey, Jim Ross is great. By far the best announcer in wrestling history. But there comes a point where, was he really going to stay on?
No, they had to have a name when the company was starting out.
Right.
Yeah, he was
I
big.
mean,
Him and Jericho were the two first big signings.
And I'm sorry, you can start to tell now. When you're watching, he is screwing up a little bit more.
Yep.
Like he's getting a little confused.
He's slower.
Yeah,
he's
it's like, I think you're right. I think when the show started, he brought a reputation and a name to the commentary team. The company's now got itself somewhat established where it's enough where I think they can make a change to someone who's going to be that new face moving forward. the new head. Do
Yeah.
they have someone lined up? You think that immediately take Jim? I don't think so.
I think they're
right?
already doing it. They've got Excalibur. He's the all-time play-by-play
Right.
guy. They got
Well, they
Shivani.
use three,
they got
right?
Taz.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Here's the thing about Jim Ross. They don't need him for every second of the show anymore.
No.
I think the best way to utilize a Jim Ross now for AEW would be to have him come out just for the big matches.
I mean, he's been on Rampage
Yeah,
for the last several months to a year. He hasn't even really been on Dynamite at all.
yeah, but I'm talking like pay-per-view, so
No, yeah.
Wembley, bring him out for the main event. Right,
Right,
before the main event start, hit the Oklahoma fight song, let him come
Yeah.
out, wave his hat, have that familiar voice for the big main event, and let it be. But he doesn't need to be on the show from start to finish anymore.
Also, kind of go over now. Current plans for WrestleMania 40. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. We all kind of already figured that.
Yeah, that's
So that could be. I think that may be the big Cody win.
he's got to finish the story.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Also reporting the current lineup for SummerSlam. Do you want to hear that?
Yeah.
You want to hear what they're saying?
Let's hear it. We're a month out.
All right. So the current what they're saying the new lineup. This is coming from Observer. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. I don't know if the title will be on the line. I mean, do you think the title will be on the line for that?
I would assume so.
There's been
I
talk
mean,
of a Jimmy heel turn breakup.
Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar. That needs to end. So that's going to be the spot for that to end. Trish Stratus, Becky Lynch. We said that a long time ago that this was going to be a long. Asuka, Charlotte versus Bianca Belair, triple threat match.
Yep.
Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. Ronda Rousey versus Baszler. So that's going to finish that one.
I wouldn't be surprised if they put a loser leaves town stipulation into it with the UFC contract.
I'd like to see that, but I don't think
I don't
they
think
will.
I don't think WWE will do that.
But I would love that.
They'll
Yeah.
want to bring her back if she's available.
If she
And-
wants to, yeah.
Right.
And they say a Logan Paul showcase, whatever that means. And there is no plan right now of Logan Paul versus LA Knight for SummerSlam.
If anything,
No plan for that right now.
I think you're going to get Ricochet and
So maybe that's
Logan Paul
Logan
before
Paul.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
The Twitter's been
Yeah.
Ricochet's been
Yeah.
there've been some heat.
So do you think those rumors match up what you think is going to be the card?
for the
It all
most part,
sounds-
yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably see something. What is that? 6 matches? 7 matches?
Sound like 7, I think.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if Logan Paul is fighting.
Yeah, I mean, I think
So,
you've got to
wow.
have 9 or 10.
Dude, you're
So
not
there's-
putting Dom or Rhea.
You got to
on
put
one of
another
your-
women's.
one of
Well, I mean,
match on.
I also
Yeah,
Your
there's
core
no
show.
still a month away. So
there's no
Yeah.
Seth Rollins in there.
Right.
There's no Finn Balor. There's no.
You got to have 10 matches on.
There's
the card,
no.
so.
Who am I? Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens.
I was gonna say no tag.
They're not
team.
in there, so I mean, there's probably room for some more.
They might not do that.
Did they
might
do?
drop the
Have they
titles
ever
right
done
before.
2 nights of SummerSlam?
No.
I was just thinking that
Did they
haven't
do 1
yet,
year
but
of 2
they
nights?
might.
I thought they did
This
1
is
year.
the
of 2
second
nights.
biggest show of the year.
I hope not.
I hope, yeah.
But,
I hate the 2-night WrestleManias.
But the that's the current card.
better than an
I
8-hour
have a funny
one show.
feeling they're not going to put the title on the line for the Jey Uso fight.
Maybe.
Does that kind of just? Hey, wait this way. He doesn't deserve a title match, right? I mean, do you think he deserves a title match? When you look
Depends
at
on
his
who you
character.
I'm sure some fans do think so. I don't, but
So do you think they will? Do you think they'll embarrass the title by making it a title match? Like, I mean, I don't know. It's almost like it's so. He's almost shouldn't be battling for the title. That I bet they don't put it down. I bet they don't make it. It'll be like
I think they'll make it
a personal match, a personal grudge match. Or
Well,
something.
that will be the drive. It's going to be a story-driven match. I think you're just going to up the stakes. You'll throw title match.
Here's a match where I think a cool stipulation could be interesting. We
Right.
could put a neat stipulation on it, I think. Or, you know what's going to happen? They'll do it, and this is where you see some kind of Rikishi make an appearance, Rock make an appearance.
Yeah.
You see somebody from the family, someone that's maybe at or above.
that helps or hinders Roman.
Exactly. Like
Right.
that's the idea. It's either going to be someone coming in. Like I think if I'm really setting up a Rock WrestleMania 40 match, this is where the Rock comes in and maybe steps on Roman's tail.
At
and
some
says,
point, if The Rock is going to come, he's got to be showing up at some point. I mean, I would say to make a good rivalry storyline, it really needs to start at SummerSlam.
So it's not. I guess my
I
point
mean-
is, it's going to happen with Jay, but it's not going to be about Jay. That's just going to
I
be
wonder if they make
the
it where if he
framework.
loses, he's got to join like the bloodline, where he's got to give himself back to
already
the.
did
Or
that.
Jimmy turns
I
on
mean-
him in the middle of the match.
Maybe.
They already did that.
I think, again, he's just a pawn. Jimmy,
I
they're just
agree.
pawns.
There's nothing to this
someone
match unless
bigger.
something shows up with stipulate. There's really nothing to this match. So I gotta agree with Jeremy, where it's leading to a bigger thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
like
just
a maybe Rikishi.
somebody.
I mean,
somebody.
You know, it sounded like I don't know.
Somebody's
they think-
going to come in, get a big pop, and
80-year-old head shrinker
and
show
try
up.
to settle it. Someone's gonna settle it, and I think someone's gonna step on Roman's tail and
So-
set up.
So speaking of SummerSlam, that's going to be our next prediction show. The pay-per-view is on August 5th, and whoever is our new Divas champion will be looking to retain.
Oh,
No,
we
not
forgot that
retain.
match is on the card too. The Divas
Get,
Championship.
get rid of the championship.
We should have had that. Yeah.
That's official. That's a
Speaking
match on
of-
the card.
Who is
Let's do
Well,
that.
Divas
Can we
champion.
do that?
You
Can we do
wanna-
that?
you
Let's
wanna do that
the
now?
inaugural
Let's do Money
Divas
in the Bank.
champion?
Let's do our Money in the Bank review.
No,
So,
I think,
all right,
I, think I gotta go.
Yep,
I think it's time for me to leave.
we're talking about Money in the Bank.
Dan's
right?
like, I gotta go potty. All right, but sit down when you do
at a
it.
time.
So if you follow our social medias, you saw what all our picks were for this pay-per-view. But let's just go through it. The first match on the card was the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Damian Priest versus Butch versus Ricochet versus LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Santos Escobar versus Logan Paul. The picks were Jeremy and I, we picked LA Knight.
Who should have won?
The crowd was firmly behind him. And you two guys picked Logan Paul, who the crowd was firmly
And
booing.
I was on the fence about Damian Priest too because I knew they were going to go with the.
Well,
Neither one of them
Judgment.
won.
none of us were on this one, so
Damian
I mean,
Priest won the match. He is Mr. Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So no win for us. Got a note though in that match, Ricochet and Logan Paul, the bump they took, the
Yeah.
Spanish
Yeah.
fly to the outside, totally botched it through
Yeah.
the tables. Logan Paul nearly died.
Yeah, that looked like it hurt.
Yeah,
It was the last spot of the match though when Damian Priest throws LA
choke
Knight up.
slam,
That
yep.
was a good spot.
that was very good.
in fact, did they have a taping on Raw? The two of them. I heard
No,
Ricochet.
they showed some backstage stuff of that.
I heard they did
fighting.
I heard they
After.
filmed something to kind of make up for the botch.
Right, they were
scene.
fighting backstage.
They
or
were
fighting
something.
back scene, yeah.
after the match, they kind of.
Match number 2 was the Women's Tag Championship. Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler versus Liv Rod.
Swerve.
Holy cow, yeah.
Yeah,
Swerve.
who saw that coming?
All 4 of us picked Rousey and Baszler to
Swerve.
retain.
Right now, no one's ahead of. We're all even with
Yeah,
nobody.
Swerve.
0-2.
I can't wait to see where this went wrong.
New tag champions, Liv Rod.
Is that really Liv Morgan's finish? That is the
It's
worst looking
The
finish
jumping,
I've ever
the
seen.
jumping code breaker or something?
Yeah, in my life, like that just looks horrible.
I mean, she's 5'0". You know.
You're not supposed to notice that. You're supposed to be looking at Raquel's back.
Yes. Yes. Good. Yeah, it balances out because Raquel can throw everybody through the ceiling. So.
Match 3, Intercontinental Championship, Gunther versus Matt Riddle. All of us picked Gunther.
Good
we
match.
were right.
We're all still
Yeah.
even.
Good match.
Still no dramas happened yet.
Match number 4, Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio.
And here
Here's where it begins.
Most of us picked Cody Rhodes, who won the match.
Can I get my thinking for a minute? I want to
Defend yourself.
I'm going to defend myself for a second. I'm saying to myself, this is where maybe I'm, maybe we're too smart into this and we look into this too much. I'm saying to myself, what's the purpose of this match, right? Clearly Cody Rhodes is in a storyline with Brock Lesnar. So when I'm looking at I'm thinking to myself, what is the purpose of this match? Clearly it's a match for Brock Lesnar. In my head, is going to come out, interfere, cost him the match, and Dominic gets a cheap win and moves on and keeps up his. That's what I was thinking. And clearly, I was thinking too much into it, obviously. I'm just saying to myself, because really this match has no purpose besides a little bit of a mid-rivalry with Judgment Day in the middle of the bigger rivalry with Brock Lesnar. But I'm saying to myself, this is a classic Brock shows up, costs Cody the win. It gives Dominic a cheap win, which helps continue to bump his credibility up a little bit. That's what I was thinking. Clearly,
His credibility gets bumped up just being in ring with Cody Rhodes, and that's basically
This
why this match happened.
Yeah, to me, this felt like Cody Rhodes is contractually obligated to be at every single premium live event to perform, and they needed to find a spot for him. I mean, listen, it's. I was saying this. I can't remember who I was saying this to, but it's like these are all emotional decisions that we're trying to reason our way to, which is why the belt is so funny, because we're all making ridiculously emotional decisions here, and then we're trying to stack up, last week's show, we're trying to stack up this logic behind it. You can make anything look like anything. So, it is what it is.
Match 5. Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Io Sky versus Bayley versus Trish Stratus versus Zoe Stark versus Zelina Vega versus Becky Lynch. Now, going into this, we mentioned it last week, Io Sky and Bayley, they're in a group together. Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark, they're in a group together, so we figured there was going to be some play there. Dan and Jeremy picked Zelina Vega to win, which she came close a couple times. Adam, you picked Zoe Stark. And
I thought my logic was spot on there with the...
Yeah. And I was the only one who got it right with Io Sky.
Man, what a pick.
Yeah.
Miss Money in the Bank, Io Sky.
Out of nowhere.
And Damage Control is effectively over.
And the finish was pretty creative. Handcuffing
Yes.
Becky and Bayley between the ladders so they couldn't climb up and stop her.
Yeah, that was clever.
That was a good finish. Trish Stratus broke her nose in the match.
Yep.
But she hung in there with everybody else, I think. It was a good match.
I will say this. I liked Becky Lynch's Rogue-themed ring attire than the Bruce Lee ring attire
that's
from the
kind of
time
her.
before.
That's kind of her thing.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
ring attire.
I-
Her
We're-
and
we're-
Seth both. Yeah.
Works way better than the Bruce Lee crap that she was wearing at,
Match number 6, World Championship. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. Again, most of us picked Seth Rollins.
Dan, defend yourself.
Again, I went back to
You, Mark, you're just a fan.
No, I went back to the purpose, the so-called purpose of this title being created. This is going to be defended every night. There's going to be new champions coming. Okay, let's see if they really go with that. And this would be an opportunity for Seth Rollins, had it for a couple months. Now give it to Finn Balor. Keep rotating the belt between people. I kind of thought that maybe there'd be a little bit of a change. And I thought Finn Balor I think his character and his story is great right now. Slap another title on the Judgment Day. I thought it could be good.
Let me ask you this: after Damian Priest won Money in the Bank, did you have second thoughts about your pick for Finn Balor winning the championship? That didn't change because that would have totally changed.
I thought this could potentially set themselves up for the new dominant faction in WWE. Women's.
Well, they own Raw. They're on Raw.
There was
But
stuff about that online. There was a picture going around of Finn with the title, Rhea with the title, Damian with the briefcase.
Right, and
poor Dom sitting there hanging off of Mammy.
Right. But the goal, he's the most hated guy in WWE.
He'll just be holding a mic and everyone will be
He has
booing
his
him.
own. But I thought maybe that with the bloodline and chaos right now, and how WWE kind of went into this whole faction storyline the last year and a half, of all these different groups. I thought, well, maybe this would be a way for them to really make the Judgment Day either really, really strong or have a lot of drama in the center of it. I mean, obviously they kind of went with drama, it looks like, more than having the domination. But I mean, again, I looked at it two different ways. I thought maybe they'd be switching the title around people. Seth Rollins now lose it for a little bit, gives it to Finn Balor. Maybe they switch again, kind of make it,
And Finn really lost this match because Damian did come out and tease cashing in,
right?
And that's really what led to him.
That's what the story out of it
that
is.
is going to be. Get ready, guys. That's the song with one note that they're going to use with Damian Priest. He's going to be at ringside of every single title match.
Am I not?
He's going to be sitting there. Yep, distracting.
I'm not sure
people.
I want to see the Judgment Day breakup. I kind of like them.
I agree. I think they should keep
They
going.
seem to be moving away from stables. They seem to be.
They're all in on it now.
Vince is back.
And now they're fair enough.
All right, the main event, Bloodline Civil War. We were split on this one. And this was the only one I was really not sure about. Bloodline, Dan, Adam, you guys picked them to win versus the Usos, who me and Jeremy picked. Usos ended up winning. It was pretty back and forth, though. That was a good way to finish the show.
First time Roman Reigns has taken the pinfall since December of 2019.
I think that's what shocked me the most, that
Yeah.
he actually laid down.
I did not think he was going to take the pin.
Yep.
Again, I think they have a good. They must have some kind of good storyline going that they feel like a year from now or into WrestleMania They must
Well-
feel like for him to take a pinfall, they must have a really good. This story must be really going where it's really, I don't know.
This does set up a loss because, I mean, you see some cracks in the foundation. This does set up a potential WrestleMania loss. Because you've got, okay, now the bloodline's broken up, family splitting apart, Roman takes a pin. Again, maybe he gets his tail stepped on at SummerSlam. You could easily see this maybe going to a place where all of a sudden there's a fall from grace and he's not the head of the table anymore. Maybe somebody else comes in. Our tiebreaker was near falls for the main event.
Which we don't end up needing, but
But we didn't need, but I did go back and count.
What was the
you
actual
did.
number?
Okay.
Go ahead, tell him.
I had 5 pinfalls. Adam, you had 6. Jeremy had 7. You had 8. And the actual number was?
5.
Wow.
5 pinfalls.
I thought I counted 6.
I thought it was
This is
more.
why you're the fucking encyclopedia of
Yes.
this show.
I was not expecting that.
Only you could exactly get the number of pinfalls.
No
So I guess I'm gonna have to start looking at how I do my picks differently from now on. I'm thinking too much into it. I gotta start just being what it is in front of me.
So the final scores are 5 out of 7, 4 out of 7 for Jeremy, 3 out of 7 for Adam, and our brand new WWB Divas Champion with 1 out of 7 correct predictions,
Put it on
our
the
general
shoulder, buddy.
manager, Dan.
Congratulations.
Now I want to say for the record, okay, for the record,
For the record, as he puts the belt on.
For the record,
for the record, I don't
none of
believe
you will
I,
be the first.
I
but
know this
every
was-
one of you
I-
can be the next.
Here's your entrance music.
For the record, I want to make sure I state this. I don't think I was here when this was discussed. I was saying before the show. I do know Jeremy brought up there's going to be a belt, but I don't know if the full.
Do you not like it?
No, it's not. It's the Divas belt.
The
So-
pink is beautiful, dude.
You've got a month to hang on to it before somebody
Oh, great.
else has an opportunity to dethrone you. And I hope that in the next month you choose to somehow personalize that.
Well, what do you mean personalize it?
Whatever you want to do, you can. I don't want you to take things off of it, but if you want to add something to it that maybe reflects your personality, maybe, and hopefully the belt works its way around the table to everybody but me, and everybody will be able to have their own
Like,
little
what is
piece.
that supposed to be, though?
A butterfly, dude.
Is it? That's,
Well, it's the off-brand one. It's a moth.
Dude,
Moth.
it's a moth.
All I know is I showed up today and it was sitting on my desk in my office. Like, oh, great, look at this, nice.
Yeah, our producer Steve wanted to make sure that you
Oh, he wanted to make sure I got it.
knew
Yeah.
of your.
It got to me before I came onto the set.
So for the next month, Dan will be our Diva Dan.
So
He will be our
now,
Divas
is it
champion.
okay if I have it next to me, like right here, position?
What do we think, guys? What do we think? How do we feel about
I don't know,
that?
it's looking pretty good on your shoulder. Right
I mean,
there,
I
pal.
can't hold it on my
I
shoulder.
think
You gotta do the Bubba Ray and put it around
I
your
think
head.
you should open and close the show, but if you'd like to place it in front of yourself, and we all should refer to him as the Divas Champion, Dan Shevlin.
Yep.
I think that's fair to be
That's
referenced
fair.
as a Diva champ.
And of course, we'll refer
Just remember
to you
that
as
when one of you get it, I'm just gonna be in brutal back.
the reigning and defending Divas WWB Divas Champion.
Maybe I'll break my own record. Maybe I'll have my own record that goes up against Roman Reigns.
Yeah, if this goes 3 or 4 months, we're gonna start doing it.
Now, just as important, when the playback of the reveal of the title, did you get the right title? Were you CEO? Creative control, or were you Hall of Famer? Jeremy Bodette?
I asked to be Hall of Famer, but I don't think I got one at all. I think he left me completely off. I don't think I got one at all, unfortunately.
And just so you know, since I won predictions, I got an ice cream cone.
it was delicious.
It was delicious.
I'm thinking maybe we should do a pinky ring for the winner.
So the next one on the card is SummerSlam,
Yeah,
August 5th.
August
Yeah.
5th.
So I got exactly a month.
And I think we should do a watch along for that.
it's one of the big four.
yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
we should do the watch along.
We
for
should
that.
make sure we do a watch along. So you might even get to take your title with you to the watch along, and maybe we'll do a ceremony afterward
Yeah,
where we can hand off the title at the live in front of our literally tens of fans. All right, last stop, WrestleMania topic.
WrestleMania in London. So we mentioned John Cena showed up at Money in the Bank, total surprise, and he was there to apparently push the idea of WrestleMania coming to London. Now, right away, I mean, I think we can all agree this is just a clear response to AEW
he
running
likes it.
Wembley.
I gotta get used to it.
But yeah, AEW running Wembley. This is just WWE's response to it,
Right.
to a company that they repeatedly say is not competition for them.
Doesn't exist, right?
Right. So, for those that don't know, generally WrestleMania gets bid out to cities, and they bid on it and pay WWE to bring WrestleMania to their cities because it's a week-long event, 7 to 10 days worth of events, TV shows. They're there, and it brings up all the tourism to the city. Lots of cash flow going in, but London doesn't want to do this. Supposedly, I mean, they're already a tourist destination across the planet. So, I mean, what do you guys think of this? You think we're actually going to get a WrestleMania in London or anywhere outside the U.S. for that
I
matter?
think eventually. Like,
I'm kind of surprised they haven't done it already.
Really?
Personally, maybe not so much London, but at least over, out of the country. I mean, yeah, they've done Canada, but
I think you are going to see it. I don't think you're going to see it in London. I think you're going to see it in, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way at all, but like more of a B or a C type European city, a Brussels, like not as large. I mean, London's huge. It's got like 10 or 12 million people.
have they done SummerSlam outside the U.S.?
They did SummerSlam. Was it SummerSlam at Wembley?
yes.
Yeah.
That was the last big one in the
All
UK.
right, so they've tested it. I was going to say, they
That
should
was
test it with the number 2.
1992.
Oh, that long ago?
Yeah.
Favorite
well-
match of all time.
Yeah.
So you would think they would take one of their big 4 first, outside of WrestleMania, and try it.
They've
Yeah.
done WrestleMania in Toronto
Right.
a couple of times, I think.
But with this whole new format, can they do WrestleMania? I mean, WrestleMania is now a 2-day spectacle operation.
Plus, I mean,
Like,
there's the
they
Hall
get-
of Fame, there's SmackDown,
Right,
there's
I
Raw,
mean,
there's
That's a lot of
NXT.
selling out in London to do 3 shows.
France impressed. WrestleMania Paris. I mean, that's another. Again, it's a smaller city, but huge response to wrestling. They sold out. Huge fan response. It's close enough to everywhere else. I mean, here's the other thing about Europe. You're a $99 flight from everywhere.
Right.
To London, to Paris, to Oslo, to Moscow, to anywhere. So you're not here in the United States, you're a 6-hour flight from New York to LA. So that kind of limits you. You maybe have 100 to 150 million people potentially that could want to fly in for a week-long event. You've got 800, 900 million people that could fly in for $100.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
the more I think about it, the fact that they haven't even, up until now, they haven't even tried the O2 Arena. I could see.
it's tiny.
Yeah,
Why would you
they
want
wanted
to
to
do
go
it?
stadium
thought
for
O2 was
WrestleMania.
big.
No. I mean,
Yeah.
max capacity at O2 Arena is like maybe 30,000, maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, when they just did O2, it was
Yeah.
sold out at 18,000 for
But
SmackDown.
again, if London doesn't want to pay for it, I mean, last
Yeah.
year they did Clash of the Castle in Cardiff, and the only reason they went to Cardiff was because London passed on it. They didn't want to do it.
Yeah. Max capacity, and this isn't even wrestling, which is going to
Yeah.
be lower than that, is 20,000 at O2.
Mhm.
So yeah, you never hold WrestleMania there.
So when it was first broached, I mean, all the dirt sheets and everyone was saying, yeah, it's not going to happen, not going to happen. But since then, some rather big name, I don't know if you want to call them big names, but some higher ups in the UK government have voiced support for it. Members of Parliament are saying, yeah, we want to do this, or yeah, John Cena's right on, blah, blah, blah.
It's clear. It's clear that WrestleMania has economic impacts
Yeah.
to the region or community. So I think
It's like holding the Olympics.
Right.
It's,
Exactly.
right. So I think when you look at the scale of London, yeah, I think it only helps London, and I know that London doesn't need any recognition, but having a WrestleMania there probably would help that area tremendously if it's a whole weekend operation. Just when they went Tampa was a big operation. There's a lot of when you look at all these areas that they go to and they go into and they do a whole weekend thing out of it. There's a lot of economic impacts to the community.
The first time they did a 2-day WrestleMania, was that Phoenix?
It was right after the pandemic, or the pandemic show might have been the first 2 days.
Oh, was it the first 2 days?
Yeah, the empty arena. That was 2 days.
It was.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Oh, so that was
theatrical
Tampa,
match.
right?
Tampa, yeah. Or it was supposed to be Tampa. It ended up being
Or like
was
Orlando.
it Tampa or Orlando? I think it was Orlando.
Has WrestleMania done Vegas yet?
No.
I'm surprised
I don't think
that's
so.
not.
I don't
bid.
think they have a venue.
You don't think the Raiders?
The new Raider Stadium. Actually, are
Well,
you sure
the
that's
new-
not on there yet?
Yeah.
They normally go into all the new stadiums right after they're built.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's in the next 3.
Yeah, with the new Raiders Stadium and now
I think I might have read before they were going in there.
Athletics going to Vegas.
WrestleMania 40's already decided. I can't remember offhand where it's going to be.
It's Philly.
Philly, that's right. Thank
But
you.
I think WrestleMania 41's. I think they have like 1 or 2 places.
It's still up in the air. I think Minnesota is the front runner right now.
I think I did read that too.
So even if it does go to London, it's going to be a couple years before it does. So,
which is just the amount of time that they need.
Because they like to go for all the new stadiums. That's their big thing now. You know, when they what's the other one?
Dallas.
Where were they last year?
Yeah, they keep going. They went to Dallas
year,
twice, I think.
Last year was Hollywood. They were in
LA.
LA.
The new LA stadium.
No, it was the Staples Center, but it's not called the Staples Center. It's called.
No, they didn't do it in Staples Center. They did it in the new LA Rams and Chargers stadium. I forget what they call it. Allegiant Stadium, maybe.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
It was Allegiant, but I thought that. Oh, okay. I thought that
This
they
is
just
why
changed the
I'm
name.
shocked
of
that
Staples.
Vegas hasn't put a bid
I
in
bet
for
you
it
it's on
either.
their radar with the new Oakland Raiders but the new Las Vegas Raiders stadium. I'm sure
Vegas, and not only that, you just had the Knights win the Stanley Cup. Oakland Athletics are about to move there. I mean, Vegas is turning into a huge professional sport.
Allegiant Stadium is the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium.
Oh, because that's right. Okay, I knew it was one of them. They did do whatever stadium the Chargers Rams where they were last year. Yeah, they just finished that stadium like a year ago. It was brand new.
SoFi Stadium.
SoFi, that's it. Okay.
Yep, SoFi Stadium in LA, which.
Hang on.
All right. Well.
Are we anything else?
I think that's it.
All right, so
This week.
we'll keep an eye out on that London thing, see what happens. That's all we got time for. So
Good boy.
be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, follow our social medias. Be sure to keep an eye out for our new Divas champ. See what
But will
changes
this
might
title
make to
be the
belt.
main event for the SummerSlam? I mean, it's the main event, right?
It'll be our main event.
Yeah.
Well, it should be the main event. Who's walking out with this belt? Sure as hell not going to be me.
All right. You heard it here first.
If I have to play dirty, I will.
No eye gouging.
All right, so hey, check out Falls Count Anywhere too. This past week we did a really cool episode on Lucha Libre, and this coming Monday, we've got something special going on, something we haven't tried yet. So I don't know, you want to tell them what it is?
We
Or
are
just wait for them to see.
We're doing a combination indie wrestling commentary, and for you it'll be a reaction because you haven't seen
I haven't seen it yet.
the match
Watch
yet.
along.
But it's an excellent wrestling match on the indie circuit, and I think it brings together a lot of the things that we've talked about for the last 3 or 4 episodes. Whether it be straight edge, lucha, high flying moves, all that stuff. This kind of brings it all together and shows you on the screen what we've been talking about. So I think it's a great example.
Great. Check that out because I'm looking forward to it. And if there's nothing else, if you keep watching, we'll keep wrestling with business.